I'm going to break down in great detail every hidden clue in the first trailer for Weapons, and what it could mean for the movie when it hits theaters August 8th. There's a lot to decode from this trailer. You just have to know where to look. In the first half of the trailer, the way the camera is constantly in motion brings a nervous energy, using odd angles like this overhead shot of the students leaving the bus, and then their feet walking from underneath the bus. It makes me feel like someone or something is watching them. And the art direction is just as intentional. Take the classroom. Stylized sketches of each child decorate the wall. They clearly aren't drawn by the kids. They're too polished. These drawings are designed to sell their innocence and to make us feel the weight of what's happening to them. And I like in the next shot in the kid's empty bedroom. Next to the clock, they put her bike helmet on the headboard. Now, I've never seen someone put a helmet above a kid's bed before, but for this shot, it's there not only to dress the set to help say child's bedroom, but also to send a message. The kid left her bed and the house unprotected. It's telling us she's not safe. But of course we know the kids aren't safe. There's an innocent-sounding girl's voiceover telling us that message from a kid's point of view.
And they never came back.
So what's much more interesting to me is some other clues on the classroom wall. The teacher is blocking it in this shot, but we can see it later on in the darkness of night. It's a poster about the wonderful world of whales, and it breaks down two kinds of whales. The mysticeti, or passive whales that don't attack for food. They just filter them, like plankton. And the odontesi, the toothed whales that hunt their food. There is a duality between these whales, observers and hunters, innocence and danger, something that is very symbolic in this film. Now, the whale poster could just be there as a symbol of innocence, a symbol of the loss of innocence that takes place in this story. But I also wonder if it could be a sign of something deeper, because in the very next shot on the whiteboard is an entire lesson on parasites. I doubt either of these two displays are there by accident. And it makes me wonder about one other thing too. Listen to the music during this part of the trailer.
It was totally empty. And you know why?
First of all, the instrumentation. It sounds synthetic, like something artificial, not human. But to me, it also echoes the low, reverberating sound of a whale call deep under the ocean.
And you know why?
Now we know all these kids got up and left at the exact same moment. Could these kids be responding to an imperceptible sound? Some kind of signal? Is it possible they were infected by a parasite in that classroom, and that signal activates them? A parasite that listens, that obeys. Not to a whale, but something inhuman. And why 2:17 a.m.? Yes, there were 17 kids that went missing from the classroom, according to the film's viral website. But why 17? What if 2:17 wasn't just a random time, but referencing Matthew 2:17 from the New Testament, which says, "Then was fulfilled that which was spoken by Jeremy the prophet, saying," Matthew 2:18, "A voice was heard in Ramah, Rachel weeping for her children." Now we're getting somewhere. And by the way, one of the lead actors, Josh Brolin, has a son in that classroom who goes missing. And guess what his son's name is?
Matthew, where are you?
Would you believe it? Matthew. But before I get into what this means, we know the director Zach Cregger's last film, Barbarians, wasn't just scary. It was full of social commentary about gender and power.
I don't know if I'm a bad person, but I might be.
So it's fair to expect Weapons to carry themes of its own. So when we examine Matthew 2:17 and 2:18, the connection to Weapons is compelling. These two verses talk about a prophecy being fulfilled. It says a voice was heard in Ramah, a place in ancient Israel. People were crying loudly, especially Rachel, who represents the mothers of Israel. She's mourning her children because they're gone. And this is a reference to a very tragic event. When King Herod found out a new king of the Jews, baby Jesus, was born, he got scared that he'd lose power. So he ordered all the baby boys in Bethlehem to be killed. An atrocity so horrific, it was named the Massacre of the Innocents. In short, it's a cautionary tale about how innocent children were affected by the fear and cruelty of powerful people. Something that can still feel very relevant in modern society.
Where are our children?
So what could this fear be that powerful people in modern society are afraid of that becomes a parable in this movie? I found something else interesting in the trailer that comes to mind. This is a fictional town of Maybrook, Pennsylvania. Look at this first shot inside the school. It's got a sea of international flags draped from the ceiling, which was definitely put there on purpose. And it looks like a very diverse group of kids and parents and staff. Now, could we connect all those dots and conclude there's social commentary on the fear of diversity in America? I think it's a possibility to consider while watching this film. Now, some more possibilities to think about. Let's look at the final shot of this trailer.
This is where the story really starts.
This final shot reminds me of one of the most iconic horror shots of all time. The Exorcist was made so long ago, on a film set, with smoke and dramatic silhouette lighting of a man, and it feels kind of outdated now. This shot in Weapons feels more raw, more real, more contemporary, but a similar idea. The Exorcist was basically about a demon inside of a human child.
Where's Regan? In here with us.
Could Weapons be a modern take on this idea? That something is now infecting a whole classroom of kids? Let's take a closer look at this house. In an earlier shot of the house during the day, we can see the windows are covered with newspaper from the inside. So this shot is probably inside the house, with a woman and some sparkles and lit candles. The lit candles without candle holders says to me something demonic, perhaps a makeshift ritual or ceremony, or something occult or supernatural. It says to me chaos. Clearly this is not a domesticated home. It's gone off the rails. And there's kids in the foreground watching. And later we see all of these kids racing out of the house, jumping out the door and also crashing out of the windows. These kids aren't escaping. Look, they all have their arms up, just like the shots of them at night caught on camera when running away. Also, I doubt the kids would naturally decide to jump through a glass window. They're running in formation. Do these kids become the weapons? The massacre of innocence? Do they turn from passive whales into hunting whales? And the kids aren't the only ones under some sort of spell. Some of the grown-ups are shown with signs of similar self-harm, clown-like makeup. And there's this guy who looks like the evil character in Kreger's last film, Barbarians. The lead to the end of the trailer has lots of cuts of this hand moving slowly towards the door handle and then opening it. But they make it seem like that hand is opening the front door in the final shot. But these are not the same doors, because the hand is pushing the door out, and the front door pulls itself in. I wonder if there's any person that opens that door at all, or if it's just a force of nature like we've never seen before, similar to Barbarians. I can tell that Weapons is going to be a good film, because this trailer is already so full of nuance and storytelling in the first few shots we've seen. But you don't have to take my word for it. It was reported that there was a huge bidding war for Kreger's script. Studios like Netflix, Universal with Jordan Peele's Monkey Paw, TriStar, and New Line Cinema all fought for it. New Line won, and Peele was so frustrated that he cut ties with his longtime managers. That tells you everything. The script is that good. And from everything I can tell from this trailer so far, Weapons has the makings of a classic. If you enjoyed this breakdown, please like the video below so I can keep making more. Make sure you're subscribed to my channel and leave a comment with your thoughts on Weapons. Thanks for watching.